Hi, this is Cathy from inkingitupwithcathy.com, and I'm here with another fun fold for you. This one I have termed to be the double pop-out card, and it is using the Seaside Wishes stamp set. And as you can see, when you open it up, the two pieces slide out to the side like this. Okay, so what you're going to need to create this card is, let me get the pieces here, Seaside Wishes stamp set. And you'll need the dies, the coordinating dies, and the embossing folder that coordinates as well. That is one of those hybrid that allows you to cut and emboss at the same time. I really love those, so we'll be using that. You'll be needing the Stylish Shapes dies, and you're going to need the second smallest square die. And then finally, you will need the So Swirly embossing folder. And for inks, you're going to need Versamark ink, and you will need Flirty Flamingo ink, and that's it. Oh, and then finally, your designer paper will be the Thoughtful Designs paper, and I love this, how it has an ombre effect to it, so you can get varying colors in it, so you'll be needing that. So let's go ahead and go over the pieces that you'll need of cardstock and the sizes. Get this over with as quickly as I can so we can have fun creating. So on the Thoughtful Designs pieces, you need one that is 1 7/8 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. Okay, so 1 7/8 by 5.5. This one here will be 2 1/8 inches wide by 5. And those are the two pieces of the designer paper. Next, out of the peach pie, I did a little bit of this preparation already, being these two die cut pieces. So you'll just need scrap pieces for these two from the Seaside Wishes dies, okay? Let's start with, this one here is 2 3/8 by 5 1/4, 2 3/8 by 5 1/4. This one here is 2 inches wide by 5 1/4 and embossed with that So Swirly embossing folder. This is 2 1/8 by 5.5. Okay. And then I'm looking over at my measurements here, sorry. 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So this is a square, and this is for cutting the small sand dollar here that we'll be stamping. Okay. And then I have a piece here that is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and this is for stamping of the starfish and this one here. So actually this, I'm sorry, the sand dollar and this one will be stamped here. This one will be stamped on this. My apologies. Okay, so those are the pieces of the peach pie. And as we're assembling this, I'll go over the measurements again. And then for the basic white, let's get those over with. You're going to need two pieces that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and then die cut out with the little die cut. And then finally a strip that is a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. Okay, so a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And then out of the petunia pop, we've got a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock, scored at 4 1/4. We've got a piece at 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Oh, those are these. 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you're going to cut 2 of those. This piece here is 2.5 by 3, and that will be for the stamping the starfish on and die cutting. And then finally you have this mechanism, and this mechanism is 1.5 inches wide by 4 3/8 inches wide. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this around here, and what you're going to do is you're going to score it here. I'm going to go through this and then I'll show you a diagram that you can take a screenshot of. So this is at 3/4 of an inch, and then you're going to go here at 3 1/8 inch, and here at 3 7/8 inches. Okay. Okay, so you're going to measure in from the end at 2 3/8 here, and you're just going to make a mark, and you're going to do the same thing up here and measure in at 2 3/8, and you're going to make a mark. And then you're going to take your scoring tool, whether you use your cutter with the scoring blade or a scoring board, and you're going to score between this mark and this line here, this furthest one out at 3 7/8, top to bottom, and then bottom to top. So let's go ahead and do our stamping first. So I need to get this one here. I need these two here. I need this one. And I need this one. Oh, I only need one of these for stamping, and I need this one. Okay, so the sentiment is from the Seaside Wishes, this "You absolutely made my day." And we're going to take the Flirty Flamingo ink. And we're just going to stamp that right here in the center. Like that. Set that off to the side. Then we're going to take this sentiment that says, "Sometimes the simplest things mean the most." And we're going to put that on the stitched square die. And we're going to stamp that just like that, okay? On this one, we're going to be doing the starfish. And I have just placed these on here close enough together that I can stamp them at the same time. However, I can also, there's enough distance between them that I can put both dies on at the same time and cut them out together. I always try and save a little bit of time that way, is being able to cut multiple things together. So I'm using my Versamark ink for this. And I'm going to ink that up and stamp these two on here, making sure I keep my head out of the way, just like that. And then finally, with the Flirty Flamingo ink, I'm going to, so on this one, I only need the larger of the two starfish. So I want to make sure as I'm stamping this that I do get that more than the other. But I'll go ahead and get both of them. Maybe you'll want to put that little one on something, although I'm a little bit off the edge here. But like I said, I don't need him. I only need this one here. And then finally, this one is going to be these two here. Now, when I placed them on the stamp, I used, this is just a tip, because of this hybrid embossing folder. I found that it's easiest for me to stamp them so they'll fit in together. And I don't have to do this multiple times. So what I figured out was that this is going to fit in here just like that. So what I did was took this and laid my stamps down in these two locations and then picked up my block, pick them up with my block. And then that way, when I go to stamp them and die cut them, they will be in the correct position. I hope that makes sense to you. So I'm going to ink these up. And stamp them here. Just like that. Okay, so these will be embossed and die cut at the same time. So now I know that this is going to go on here, just like this. Get these two to line up like I said they would. And I use just a little bit of washi tape. And then I can take this and place it in here to my embossing folder. See how I've placed that in there like that? And then I can close around it and it's ready to go in my die cutting machine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera real quick and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm back with everything all die cut out. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one here, my little sentiment, and I'm just going to cut it at an angle on either end. And I'm just going to keep my scissors kind of at that same angle, held this way, and then bring the other end a little bit further out. There we go. So that they're kind of in the same angle. Okay, so that's ready to go. So let's work on a little bit of assembly and then we'll work on our mechanism. So I'm going to get my bone folder and really give that a good burnish. And then on the front side here, I've got this piece here and this one here. So this is the 1 7/8 by 5.5, and that would make this 2 1/8 by 5.5. So they're going to just go on here. Just layered up, and you can decide whether, like on this one, I've got some of the Petunia Pop color down here at the bottom and more of the peach pie up here. Decide which direction you want that to go. I think I'm going to keep the Petunia Pop at, I think I'm going to put it at the top on this one because I have a lot more of the peach pie down at the bottom. So then I think it'll balance well. So then I'm going to put this over here, and I've got about a 1/2 inch over on this side here. It's just a guesstimate. I'm going to take this one first, and you'll see that I got a little bit off, but that's okay because a lot of that bottom is going to be hidden. So if there is an area like that, you can either trim it or you can just hide it. And in this case, I'm going to hide it. So this will go here like this. And then I've got these two of these that were already die cut out like this. I want this larger one. And I found the easiest way on something like this to get adhesive on it is to use my silicone mat and some of the liquid glue and just put some down like that. And then just take this and tap it in that and just kind of go around in circles till you get the whole thing, get some glue. And then I kind of tap it off one time to get the excess. And this is going to go over here, oh, like this. Let me get this back better in the screen. Okay. And then I want to grab some dimensionals. And in this case, I'm going to grab the mini dimensionals because what I want is this outside edge. And I'm going to just go ahead and cut off this outside edge portion. And I want just little tiny narrow strips of this. And I need 5 of them because my starfish has 5 arms. Just like that. And this will be this starfish here. Placed in the center. I can pull those off and I can go ahead and get a mini dimensional right there in the center. Get those off, and this is going to go here like that. And then finally my sentiment will go on. And I'm going to put dimensionals on this left side and then over here. So I'll put one here. I'll put one at the end here and then one a little ways in, but not too close, just so I can keep away from this arm of the starfish. And that will go right like that. Okay, so we're all done on the front. Let's go ahead and start working on the inside. So this panel can go ahead and get glued down onto this panel. So this is the 2 1/8 by 5 inch one, and this is the 2 by 5 1/4. No, I'm sorry, the 2 3/8 by 5 1/4. 2 3/8 by 5 1/4. So this will get glued down here. And this will have a matting all the way around, whereas the one on the front met at the top and bottom. Ooh, didn't get that balanced very well. Let's see if I can pull it down just a little. Okay, good. All right, so we'll set that aside. We've got these pieces here. This one can get glued. Let's go ahead and wait on gluing this, but this will go on this one. So we'll just set those to the side and then set these. All right, so we're going to work with my mechanism here. And what I want you to do is on the diagonal fold, fold away from you like this, and then open it up. Fold away from you like that. Okay. And then on this one in the center, you're going to fold toward you like that. Okay. So now what you can see, and then if you take this one and fold it towards you as well, like that, you will see that this mechanism will close down like that. And that's what you want. So go ahead and get that nice and squeezed and burnished and set just right. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to glue this back portion to the card here. Now you'll want to use a liquid glue or tear and tape or the Seal Plus. You want to use a really good, strong adhesive. So I like to use the liquid glue for this. So I'm going to put liquid glue on here. And I'm going to kind of keep it closed shut. I'm going to take this and put this edge of it right up against this score line here. In the center, you can have it go a little bit low if you'd like, if you want your squares to be lower, it's up to you. And you want it to just lay there just like that, and make sure you get any extra glue. Now mine is not very straight. Let's get that straightened out. Like that. I think my mechanism is a little bit wonky, but we'll fix it along the way. See, it's wanting to get angled, and I don't want my squares to be angled. So there. All right. Let me get a little bit of an eraser here and get that extra glue off there. Yeah. Make sure I don't have any on the back side. All right, so now I'm going to open this up here and get it laid flat. And I'm looking for this square here, or triangle here, and this one here. So not these larger ones, but these 4 little ones, but I want the ones both on the right. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in this one, like that, and a little bit of glue in this one, like that. I'm going to get my 2 Petunia Pop triangles, or triangles. Boy, I'm really doing well with my shapes. Squares, and this one is going to glue so that it meets kind of with this point here in the center and along that score line, like that. And this one is going to come down and go here along that one. Now, you're going to have about an 1/8 of an inch gap between them, and that is fine. But what you want to do is kind of get them to press and then move your mechanism and make sure that they seat in there. So mine are not sticking well enough yet. So let's get those on there to stick a little better before I try and move this at all. Okay. So I've got them, and there's pretty much straight. They don't have to be perfectly straight. Okay, so then my mechanism is going to make those. See how they're turning? That's what I want. Okay, that's looking good. All right, so let's bring this back out, just like that. And once they stick well, you don't have to be as careful. They'll really start to slide well. And I'm going to take these 2, and this one here, we're going to glue down. Let's see, down in this one. And this one is going to come here, like that. And then I'm going to use liquid glue on my starfish here. And I'm not gluing out at the far points because they can be a little bit loose. And I want him up here. Plus some of them are going to be hanging over, and we definitely don't want glue on those. So see how it just moves in and out just like that, right? Okay, so now we're going to close it up. And we're going to take and we're going to put glue on this portion here. Let's go ahead and put a bend in this first. That'll make it better. And then we're going to lay it flat again. And we're going to put glue here. And then we're going to close this. Give it a minute. And while we give that a minute, we can go over to this piece here, and we'll start to put these pieces on. So this one I'm going to place up here like this. And you want to make sure that you don't go outside of this line here because of how it's going to be attached. Okay, and then I'm going to bring back in my silicone mat, put a little bit more glue for this one, and put some glue on it, just like that. And then he's going to go here like that. And then finally, I'm going to take this one here and put a glue on the back. And he's going to go right there, just like that. Okay, this should have had enough time. Oh, and this was supposed to go get glued down before we did our mechanism, but I think I can make this work anyway. I just need to cut, I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch off. I will edit this video, or at least enter a comment to remind you in it to glue this piece down. But I'm gonna go here and cut off a 1/4 inch so this will fit. Just like that. Obviously this piece doesn't have to go there, but since we've got it and it was planned to go there, we're gonna make sure it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna slide this in underneath, just like we had always planned it that way, right? Okay. So now the final thing is this piece here is going to get glued to just right here. Just like that. I'm going to place it this way. And I'm going to have it set just right along this, making sure that I'm matching up my matting and going ahead and closing it so that it can slide over if it needs to slide over just a little bit. And there we go. Perfect. So there is my I'm calling that a double pop-out card. So I hope you like that. And let me know what you think.